Hello, my name's Alan Forbes. Today we're in New Lanark, one of Scotland's 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We're about to set off on one of the most beautiful walks in Scotland, in fact in the United Kingdom. We're about to go on a walk that takes us past the famous Falls of Clyde. New Lanark was one of the world's largest cotton mills when it was established in 1784. It started to attract thousands of visitors after its manager, Robert Owen, turned the mill into a showpiece industrial community. Owen believed that people worked best if they were treated well. In contrast to the dark satanic mills that were a grim feature of the Industrial Revolution, New Lanark offered its workers decent housing with a nursery and school for their children. The mill stopped working in the 1960s, and the buildings were only saved from demolition after the New Lanark Conservation Trust was set up. It's thanks to the Trust and supporting bodies that we have this wonderful attraction today. Our walk passes through the Falls of Clyde Wildlife Reserve, which is owned and run by the Scottish Wildlife Trust. More than 100 species of birds, including kingfishers and owls, can be spotted along the banks of the river. If you want to find out more about the wildlife and possibly go on a guided nature walk, you can find out more from the rangers at the Trust's Visitor Centre at New Lanark. We are now further along the trail, and we are beside the Bonington Power Station. It's a hydroelectric power station generating 15 kilowatts, and it was built back in the 1920s. It derives its power from the waterfalls further upstream. We are now at the Bonington Pavilion, possibly better known as the Hall of Mirrors. This was built in 1708 for a local landowner, Sir James Carmichael of Bonington. The building, now a ruin, was known as the Hall of Mirrors because the upper story had a mirror placed on the back wall, and when windows were thrown open, the guests sitting there felt as though they were standing right in the middle of the Falls of Clyde opposite. Obviously the pavilion isn't what it used to be. The mirrors are long gone, as is the floor that separated the two stories. We are standing on the ground floor, which is believed to have been the kitchen when Sir James was entertaining his friends. But it is good to see that recently wooden lintels have been put in to help keep the building upright. A lintel above the door and another wooden lintel above a window opposite me. So let us see what has drawn thousands of visitors here, including renowned artists such as the Lakes poets Samuel Taylor Coleridge and William Wordsworth with his sister Dorothy, Sir Walter Scott, and the painter J.W.M. Turner, who was inspired to produce not one painting but 2 of the Corra Falls below us. And here you can see what inspired them. A huge force of tumbling water dropping 30 meters down, surging, roaring force that is still as incredible to watch today as it would have been to visitors from the 18th and 19th and 20th centuries. I'm sneaking out from behind a hide that's used by bird watchers to look for nesting peregrine falcons. Unfortunately, this being autumn, the birds aren't nesting, so maybe we'll have to come back in the spring and hope we can spot them then. So here we are at the end of the walk, at the weir above Bonington Linn. I hope you've enjoyed this film and are tempted to try the walk yourself. We're about to head back the way we came, to New Lanark, but it is possible to continue across the weir and continue along the west bank, heading to Kirkfield Bank, passing the ruins of Corra Castle, and then coming from Kirkfield Bank, returning to New Lanark. It is important to remember the basic rules of safe walking. For instance, wearing good firm shoes or boots with soles that have a good grip. Stay well back from steep drops, especially on a walk such as this, which has steep drops all the way along the route. And keep an eye on children. So I hope you will join me on the next walk in South Lanarkshire. Goodbye.